Hey y'all, I'm Melissa Guerra. I am the Kitchen Wrangler. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can get all of the best recipes from here in South Texas. These are they all my favorites? Yes, they are all my favorites, and I am looking forward to sharing them with you. Today we're gonna be making an old-fashioned cake with ingredients that I find around my kitchen, and I always seem to have a bunch of bananas in my kitchen. And I apologize, I know I should insert some really lame mom joke here about how my family is a bunch of bananas and they're always in the kitchen, yada yada, but I will spare you because I really do love this recipe. Let's not get off on the wrong track. The first thing you're gonna need for this recipe is bananas, and I'm using regular bananas, but you know how bananas can go in stages, like some people like the green ones and some people like the overripe ones. Well, you're gonna need both, because the greenish bananas, and not totally green, not lizard green, I mean we want them kind of greenish yellow, those bananas are more firm, and because we're going to bake some of these bananas into the cake, they need to keep their shape. The other type of bananas we're gonna be using are overripe bananas, and these are my absolute favorite, even though they are absolutely hideous. All of the sugars have ripened in the bananas, they have lots of flavor, and so we're gonna add that to the cake batter, and that's gonna give the cake a beautiful, beautiful richness. The second thing that you need for this recipe, which is very important, is you need the proper size pan. The cake batter is about 8 cups. Now, bundt pans hold usually about 12 cups of batter, and then regular 8 by 8 by ½ inch cake pans, the little square ones, those only hold about 6 cups of batter. The way to figure out how much cake batter your cake mold holds is to use a measuring cup, fill it with water, and just see how many cups of water fit into your cake mold. You'll need about like an inch, what is that, 2.5 centimeters to 2 inches, 5 centimeters at the top, just to allow for some space for the cake to rise. But you can very easily test the cake pans in your kitchen to find out which is the right pan. I picked out one of my favorite ring molds, and that is what I'm gonna use for my banana upside down cake. Once you get the cake pan details sorted out, it is time to get started on preparing the upside down bit of your cake. We need to turn the oven on, heat it up, and we need to grease our cake mold very well. I've got some butter, and I'm just going to rub down the interior of the pan. Add your brown sugar and your butter, and we're gonna pop that pan into the oven. The oven doesn't need to be completely preheated. All we wanna do is melt that butter. Once the butter's melted, after about 5 minutes, pull the pan out of the oven and stir it around so that the brown sugar and... Can you hear that bird? That is one happy bird. Once the butter and the sugar are completely melted, pull the pan out of the oven and stir it around so that the sugar and butter distribute very evenly throughout the pan. Now it's time to add the bananas. I've sliced the bananas into really thick slices. I can't say that I was all that professional about slicing these bananas. Are there professional banana slicers? Well, if there are, I am not one of them. Just slice the bananas, but make sure that they're thick because you don't want thin bananas that are gonna get mushy when they're baked. You want them to keep their form so they look really pretty once your cake is baked. Arrange the sliced bananas on top of your brown sugar mixture. Okay, our cake pan is done. Let's set that aside. In a separate bowl, we're gonna combine our flour, our whole wheat flour, our baking soda, our baking powder, the cinnamon and salt, and just stir them up. I really like adding the whole wheat flour to this cake because it gives it kind of a nutty texture, which is a great contrast to that velvety banana flavor. Did I just say velvety banana? Oh God. Using an electric hand mixer, we're gonna cream together the butter and the sugar. Once that's combined well, add your eggs, your vanilla, and your sour cream and mix those together well. Now, I could mash these overripe bananas on a separate plate, but I'm the one that's washing all the dishes after I filmed this video. So to save myself a plate, I'm just gonna add these incredibly mushy, overripe bananas to this batter, and I'm gonna let the electric mixer do the work. But if you use this technique, make sure that there are no big lumps in the bananas. Once the wet ingredients are combined well and we have our dry mixture, we need to put them together. So we're gonna add small portions of the flour mixture and we're gonna mix it so that everything is combined very well. You never wanna overmix your cakes because that's when the cakes get kind of tough. It develops the gluten in the flour and you really don't want that. Mix your cakes as minimally as possible, but make sure all of the ingredients are well combined. Pour the cake batter over the ingredients that are in your prepared cake pan, and then pop your pan into your preheated oven, and we're gonna let it bake for 30 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're gonna lower the heat to 325 degrees, and we're gonna let it bake for another 25 to 30 minutes. You need to check the cake to make sure that a toothpick comes out clean, and if it does, then your cake is done. Take the cake out of the oven and allow it to cool completely before you invert the cake mold onto a cake plate and remove your cake. Let's make the glaze for this cake, which is so delicious. It has kind of a butterscotch flavor. We're gonna combine butter, brown sugar, heavy cream, and salt, and let's bring it to a simmer for about 2 minutes until it's well combined, nice and bubbly. Then we're gonna turn it off and we're gonna let it cool for about 1 or 2 minutes. Once you let it cool, now you can pour it over your cake. You can serve it on the side of your cake. Either way, it is such a delicious addition to your banana upside down cake. You see, this is an old-fashioned cake because we did not use a cake mix at all. Everything was from absolute scratch, just from ingredients that you usually have around the kitchen, and this is one of my favorites that I make all the time. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel where I'm sharing all the best recipes from here at the ranch, sharing them with you. Hey, and make sure that you subscribe to my podcast where I truly nerd out in the other part of my brain. I love food history, so check out that channel. I've put a link below. Oh, and make sure that you follow me on social media. Now, you know, if you have any questions, you can message me at help@kitchenwrangler.com, or you can message me through Instagram, through Facebook, through Twitter, through here on YouTube, through TikTok. I am all over the place. I'm always looking forward to hearing from you. I'm Melissa Guerra. I'm the Kitchen Wrangler, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here at the ranch again soon. Bye now.